Knowledge is power.
You wanna live forever?
Legends of Kingdom Rush is a recent Apple Arcade exclusive and the 5th game in the Kingdom Rush franchise. While the first 4 games were tower defense games, Legends is a completely new style of game to the franchise. Described as a roguelike RPG, do its roguelike elements make it stand out from the rest of the strategy RPG genre? Let's find out. The story is a continuation of the 4th Kingdom Rush game, but you don't have to play that game to enjoy this one. All you need to know is that there's a threat to the realm of Kingdom Rush. It is up to your legends and their companions to vanquish this threat. You experience the story over 4 adventures, with the first one serving as a tutorial. The overarching plot remains the same across the 4 adventures, only the narrative of each adventure changes with every playthrough. Each adventure begins and ends the same. You meet the same bosses at the end of each adventure. It's only the journey from beginning to end that's different in each playthrough. The story is played out through comic panels at the beginning and end of each adventure, and written dialogues in the cutscenes of the adventures. There's no point going into the details of the story. It's a conventional fantasy plot. Unless you're heavily invested in the Kingdom Rush lore, you won't care about it. The gameplay, however, is where the fun is at. Unfortunately, the game was too difficult for some players, which is why Ironhide added a casual difficulty for those who'd like to experience the story or practice on an easier setting. By the time I was finished with this game, this wasn't available, so I played it on the normal difficulty, failing 100 times in each adventure and learning how every enemy operated, how all the heroes worked individually and together, and I think this is where the fun of the game lies. The tutorial is basic, showing you combat and skills and explaining how to progress on each adventure. But it doesn't do a great job in preparing you for what's to come, which may be a good thing if you're into challenging roguelike games. And maybe that's the point, as there are so many different strategies and combinations of heroes to discover. The gameplay of Legends is a bit too complex for the scope of this review. I'm working on a complete breakdown of the gameplay, which is taking longer than it should. For now, I'll stick to a short description of the gameplay. In Legends of Kingdom Rush, you take control of a party of heroes, 1 legend and 2 companions. You get a 4th random companion in the middle of each adventure. Your goal is to complete an adventure, picking your path and nodes and surviving battles. The number of nodes and their positions do not change in an adventure. At the end of each adventure is a boss node, which are really challenging, especially the first few times you fight them. No 2 runs have the same combinations of battles or events on the nodes. Every time you replay an adventure, it's different. As of my playthrough, there are 3 adventures to tackle with 5 legends and 11 companions available. There is a rank system to determine how skilled you are with each hero. You can increase their rank by taking them on adventures, which unlocks different skills, giving you more combat options. While the gameplay looks simple on the surface, it's complex enough to keep you engaged for weeks. The roguelike nature brings a lot of replayability to the game. I recommend playing the game on normal. The casual setting was too easy for me. It's not a one and done sort of game. If you want to have fun, you have to replay it multiple times. You have to grind and learn all the heroes and which combination of heroes work, learn the map layouts and the different enemy types. It's a game that rewards you for the time you put in it.
Watch and learn.
Get out of my way.
presentation of the game is excellent. Every aspect is exceptionally well done. The comic book aesthetic bleeds into every element of it. The cutscenes, the graphics, the gameplay, the character models, and even the select screen. The attention to detail on animations when a character attacks or an enemy dies all have that pop of a comic book in motion. The game has no dialogue sections, but each hero has a few signature phrases which they say during combat, giving a very old school RPG feel to the game.
Let's fight!
I'll deal with you.
It's showtime!
There are no bugs, no crashes. Loading screens are quick, so you can get back into the action immediately. Honestly, this is one of the most polished games I've played on Apple Arcade yet. Roguelike games have taken inspiration from the tabletop Dungeons & Dragons games. Legends of Kingdom Rush is a great throwback to those old games with dice roll events, new dialogue and combat encounters with each run, and different heroes to play with. While the story may not be that interesting, the gameplay and presentation elevate it to the next level and make it a must play if you love strategy RPGs. This Apple Arcade exclusive is definitely worth the subscription, even if it's the only game you play on it. I'm hoping Ironhide Studios continue to support this game with new adventures and heroes. I thoroughly enjoyed my time with the game and will continue to make content for it as and when there are updates. Get subscribed so you don't miss out on the gameplay breakdown of Legends to understand its different game mechanics. And if you like strategy RPGs, here's my review of Spaceland. Check it out to see if that's the right game for you. There will be no review next week as I will be uploading a lot more Legends of Kingdom Rush content. Thank you for watching. See you guys next time.